Welcome to the Performance Enhancing Podcast. It's like steroids for your brain. A podcast for people looking to live life at their peak potential. Chock full of real-world tools and knowledge that you can apply in your life today. By providing you with a lens into the lives, beliefs, practices, and actions of those who are already living extraordinary lives, the Performance Enhancing Podcast will help you shift your mindset or create that change in your daily rituals and habits so you can explode with success in the areas of life that are most important to you. So get ready for another dose of Performance Enhancing Podcast with SatoriPrime. Here's your host, Ilan Ferdman.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Performance Enhancing Podcast with your host, Ilan Ferdman. Super excited to share part 2 of our Have It All webinar that we did that got tremendous feedback. Hopefully you already listened to part 1. In part 2, we're going to keep going into more of the distinctions that we share at the Have It All experience, at the live experience. And one of the things we start off with is a conversation of what's a difference, I should say, between successful people and not successful people. So this is a really interesting mind shift, and we're going to show you how to create that in your life. We're going to look at why people don't get the results that they want, even if they work super hard for it. And there's just things that you've done the work and that result eludes you. We're going to talk about why that is and what's in your way of doing that and how using technology like this, you can absolutely remove those things once and for all. A conversation between the difference between impossible and difficult and how to make that transition in your life. And finally, and most importantly, we're going to talk about how to actually lean into your fears and start using them as your guiding light to have the most incredible life of your dreams. Now, at the end of this, we're going to share with you our link and the bonuses that are available to you right now. Again, the website is youwillhaveitall.com, and you can come attend our event. The dates are now set. It's November 1st through the 4th. So at the time of this, I think the dates were different, but it's November 1st through the 4th. We have payment plan options, up to 6 payment plans. So money should not be an issue. Put that aside. If you want to be there, we will figure out a way to get you there. Listen to your heart, and if your heart calls you to be there and the only but is money, please apply. Let's get on the phone and figure out how we can make this work for you, okay? So listen with an open heart and an open mind, and if it resonates, head to youwillhaveitall.com, apply, get on the phone with me, and let's get you over to San Diego. All right, enjoy part 2. So I want to reiterate here, like a big difference between successful and unsuccessful people. So I'll read this to you guys. Successful people rely less on the existing facts. Instead, they analyze the challenges, and rather than acquiesce to the low probability, meaning like rather than just give in to the low probability of achieving their goals, they seek out routes to achieve them. So my question to you is, do you want to be a successful person? Do you want to be someone that's not stopped by obstacles, but actually sees the obstacles as an opportunity to go forth and get what it is that you deserve? Guys, our life is this short. This short. There is no practice life. This is the real thing. There's no dress rehearsal. This is it. If you're not living life at a 10, if you don't have like bliss in your life, and I'm talking about in all areas, like the reason we call this Have It All is because it's all areas. So you could be a rock star in business, but if your relationships suck, then guess what? That's not living optimally. If you're a rock star in relationships where you're massively obese or not taking care of your health, right? What are you doing? Like, I work with people that are massively successful in business, and then they just don't take care of themselves. I'm like, what are you busting your ass to build? Like, don't you want to see where this whole journey goes? It's shocking to me. There was a study I read today, actually, that they did. It's a very simple study that exercise makes you perform, remember, and everything better. And this is how simple this was. They showed people a whole bunch of pictures with names under them, random faces with names under them. They had them recall them, like how many they can remember. Then they sent 2 groups. There was one control group. The control group literally just sat for 30 minutes in a room, The other group they sent to do some strenuous work on a stationary bike, and then they brought both groups back and tested them again. The ones that sat in the room, every single one of them performed exactly the same. Every single one. Not like some better. Every one performed exactly the same. The ones that went and rode the bike for 30 minutes came back and every single one performed better. Every one. Meaning, like, if you don't take care of this, all the other stuff falls away. So just something to think about. So I want to start looking at why we want certain things in our lives, and we say like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to create that, or whatever, and it doesn't happen. Okay? And I call this your life the kayak. And if you heard this before, I apologize. It's just such a good analogy, and like people just get it. So you want to achieve X, and it's just elusive, like always seems to be just a little bit away. And it seems like no matter how much work you put into it or what you do or what you try, it just doesn't work. So this goes in with what, by the way, like, are you guys just checking in? Have you felt that? Where you've wanted to achieve something and it just constantly seems like no matter how hard you work at it, it just seems to be that little bit away from you, right? It's like not quite there. I love doing live events so much more because I can actually see their faces.
See the faces when you ask a question. Yeah.
It's so interesting. I'm like, give me a
Are you guys with me?
Give me a response. Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
So you try to achieve X, you can achieve X. So what Guy spoke about is conscious, unconscious, okay? Now, I want you to consider that this motion, the rowing that this guy is doing, that's your conscious mind. And where most people stop in their training and what they know is this. And so you want to get somewhere there. So what do? We row faster, right? We row harder. Doesn't matter. It's do more, work harder, right? That's the most methodology. Now, here's the problem. That under this kayak is a rudder. And the rudder is actually what controls where this kayak is going to end up. And the reason you don't produce results in your life with velocity and how you want them is because your rudder is stuck in this position. Because at the unconscious level, if your conscious and unconscious don't match up, if, for example, you say, I want to make X amount of money in my business, like whatever, $10,000 a month, let's say. And at the unconscious level, because of ancient programming through your parents and your life experience and whatever, this goes low probability, you cannot get this. You've now stuck your rudder and we can't make that happen. And you go out there and you're like, I'm determined. I'm going to make this happen. And you just keep going around in circles. And you don't quite understand why. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to just row with one arm. Maybe this will straighten it out. And you end up in the same exact place. Same exact place. And you just start beating your head against the wall and you give up. Most people just give up. I'm not destined for this. I'm not made for this. Well, all the while, all it was is your rudder is just stuck. And if instead of pointing out here and looking at all these other circumstances and things, and it's the job, it's the person, it's my kids, it's the whatever, if instead you looked here and did this work, which is the work that we're inviting you to come and do, you will never have to look at this again. You won't have to work harder. It will happen with ease. We call it magic. When life just happens, when it just works, flow. How many of you guys have heard of flow state? Flow state is that state where you just perform. People can perform anywhere from 2 to 100 times better when they're in flow state. And that's really what we look at, is how to do that. So there's a ton of exercises that we're going to do with you guys, all about not thinking about, but experientially feeling and shifting. Like you will literally feel this thing get locked into a new position, a position that you, the adult version of you right now, not some hurt little kid that experienced failure or trauma or whatever. Like you right now, as the adult, will get to set that rudder to exactly where you want. And then this becomes easy.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Anything you want to add?
I was going to say, like we're all 100% products of our environment, right? Like ducks swim with ducks, swans with swans. Sure, a bunch of you guys have heard, if you take your 5 closest friends, take the average of their income, that's your income. You become the product of what you spend your time, who you spend your time with, and what you spend your time around. And it's prudent to really take a look at what is in your environment and how do you create circumstances daily for yourself to naturally show up as a product in that environment in a way that you want to show up so that you can set that rudder that Elon's talking about. So we're going to look at how to use environment, how to use the people around you to push you into natural flow states in your life so that you're finding that passion, that motivation, that driven action that's just a requirement for really getting anything done. Like I'm all for creation and the power of intention, but there has to be a point where when you start creating alignment in your life through what we call integrity, when you start creating alignment through your life, that you're able to see opportunity and act like crazy and take action when that's happening.
Yeah. So I want to give you guys one huge tip right now that can completely alter tomorrow and then every day after. One of the biggest reasons the rudder gets stuck, right? We talked about the brain and the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. So if the brain surmises that something has a low probability, this is basically what it says. It says, this is impossible. It just says, this is impossible. Now, think of what it is that you want most in your life right now. Like picture in your head. The thing that you want most. Is there one person in the planet that's achieved what it is that you want to achieve right now? One out of 7.5 billion people. Has someone achieved that thing that you want? Well, guess what? If someone has achieved that one thing, then is it impossible? Not so much. So what happens is the brain tells something that it's impossible, when in fact it's difficult. I'm not saying the things that you want necessarily are like a cakewalk, right? But there's a huge difference between impossible and difficult. If something's impossible, you're just like, fuck it, I can't do it. If something's difficult, then what you look for is ways to figure out how to solve that problem, which goes to another part of your brain, takes it out of the fear-based part, puts it into the let's solve this riddle part, and now you get this juice flowing to actually try to solve the problem. So think about things in your life like are a little bit out of reach. At your unconscious level, you've made them impossible. And if you could just alter that to it may be difficult, so not impossible, it may be difficult, you'll have a completely different part of your brain, like scientifically part of your brain, working on the solution, and you'll actually start moving in that direction. So in order to overcome these fears or obstacles, what you have to do is you have to extinguish this automatic response that we're talking about. You have to extinguish the parts of the brain. It's actually called the amygdala. We'll get into it at the event, but it's the part that all the imprint, all the trauma, all the things that you experience, that's what it sends a signal to. It's like, oh my God, this is so scary. This is so scary. And when you learn to make that switch, which is a muscle, right? It's like everything else. That's when you can gain access to all of this. So this is why I believe that the Have It All experience is so different than other seminars, is because most people think of fear as this horrible, horrible thing. This thing that stops us, the things that make us, small or anything like that, which I agree with.
Overcome and killed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unchecked, I agree with 100%. But at the same time, I know from studying a ton of neuroscience that fear is innate. It's programmed. Like, you're not getting rid of fear. People that sell you books like How to Overcome Fear. Guess what? It's bullshit. You can't overcome fear. It is part of you. It is it's what makes you survive. It's the thing that, like, when you're crossing the street, you hear a car honking, you don't like look at the car and go, I wonder why he's honking. He's moving at me at a quite rapid pace. Like, you don't have time to do that, right? You hear a horn, you like,
gotta go.
That's your limbic brain. It's never going away. It saved you. It's the reason it saved you from a million things that would have killed you. But at the same time, instead of trying to remove fear, okay? Like, trying to remove fear, I love this picture. Trying to remove fear is like trying to get a dog to stop barking. Like, dogs bark, right? Or a kid to stop crying. Kids cry. Like, that's what they do. So knowing that human beings have fear, that's just what we do. Can't get rid of that. So what we started asking ourselves is, okay, if we can't get rid of that and the human being is designed this way, how can we use it? How can we use this fear to actually give us the greatest lives? And what we found is that if you lean into your fears, they will guide you to the greatest life ever. So let me ask you guys this. Think of the last time you overcame something that you feared. Anything, could be big, could be small. Think of the last time you overcame a fear. And in the chat box, let me know, how did you feel when you overcame that fear?
Excellent. I felt like a brave Spartan.
Like a what? A brave Spartan?
Yeah. Felt like a brave Spartan, like a winner, fully empowered for the next challenge. Great answer. And elated.
Awesome. So my question is this. How would you like to feel that way every single moment of every single day of your entire life? Where you get to feel like Superman or Superwoman, a brave Spartan. It is absolutely accessible to you. And it's all out of this technology. When you can eliminate the knee-jerk reaction around fear and start using it as what we call a guiding light, every fear that happens is just your next obstacle. It's just your next opportunity to grow and develop and feel that way that you guys have already felt. I'm not telling you something new. You've experienced it. Mm-hmm. Most of you just happen to do it because of dumb luck or, like a necessity or something. But imagine having that power at your fingertips every single moment of every single day.
Or you do when it's rare or that you're pushed to or something like that. But it's not your modus operandi. It's not how you're choosing to live moment by moment because of whatever stories you have about it.
Yeah, it's the thing that fuels you. You create eyes where you literally go through your day. You're like, what's one thing that I can do today that would scare the crap out of me? Mm. And then every day on the other side of it, don't you get to know yourself as someone that you never even dreamed possible? You have access, guys, to that every day. The problem is that fear is paralyzing. And what we want to do is eliminate that paralyzing thing and flip it so that you start seeing it every single time as like, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And you start feeling like Superman every single time. Questions?
No, you're good. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Zoni. Have never happened to you when you don't get the results you want and your brain starts to make up excuses automatically.
Say it again.
He says basically like, when you don't get the results that you want, like, doesn't your brain start creating excuses automatically?
Yes, it absolutely does. And it does so because it thinks that the probability of you succeeding is too low. It'd rather you not play.
It's also a protective mechanism, right? I just finished listening to an amazing book too called You Are Now Less Dumb, which is all about neuroscience and about like all the biases of the mind. And one of the major biases, like, you guys know when you drive in the car, like you're like the best driver in the world and everyone else is like a moron, idiot, asshole, basically, right? So there's that bias is guiding your light, guiding your life. I'm looking at guiding light, guiding your life in a lot of ways too, about a lot of different beliefs you have about yourself. So when you fail, right, you need to the mind needs to explain it to you to basically keep your self-esteem up in some way, Because if you don't feel good about yourself in some way, or about your ability, about your uniqueness, and about all these different things, chances are you're going to take a lot less action in your life. And in order to survive, one must take action, right? So the brain has all these built-in like fall safes kind of things that it does. Again, without awareness, without tools, without exercises to show you how to strengthen the other parts of yourself that are incapacitated when that happens, what you end up with is exactly what you have over and over again.
Yeah. So here's how all of this comes together. Okay. So this is like what I've showed you guys so far, what we've showed you guys so far is the methodology. This is the 30,000 foot view of what it is that we do with our participants at this 3-day event. We take them through this process and completely shift that conversation so they become those superhumans. They literally go out and with velocity are able to produce any result in any area of life that they focus on like that. And so how is this different? Well, the definition of exploration is the investigation of unknown regions. Interesting. Exploration, the investigation of unknown regions. Now, what have we said about the brain and the unknown regions? It's terrified of them. It's terrified of them, which is why people don't investigate, which is why most people kind of like do the surface work. It's like, the thinking about the doing, right? Like how many of you guys get stuck in about thinking about the actions that you're going to take? And at the end of the day, you're just drained and nothing's been done. It's like preparing for a race, like a marathon, and then not actually running the marathon. So in this event, at the Have It All event, we will put you in the safest, most unbelievable environment where you can actually go experience this stuff and once and for all, literally reprogram this so that fear, unknown, these obstacles will be the things that you hop and skip to instead of run the other way from. And in doing that, your life will completely shift. So, oops, sorry. Computer's running slow here. So, yeah, our experiential learning basically puts you in the game. So there's no more thinking about the results that you want. It's just get results and get them fast. Like no more diddly dallying, right? This is going to be, So I didn't have the word for it, but it's like,
yeah. If you notice, we're a little bit of,
yeah. And here's my promise. Like you bring the areas that are most important in your life right now and you play in this experience full out. I promise you, I will put whatever guarantee on this you want. Like if you don't have this experience, I will freaking give you back your money. Like I guarantee that your life will never be the same. I freaking guarantee it. If you come, you play full out, you bring these areas, your life will never be the same. And if you want proof, go to our page. In a second, the youwillhaveitall.com page, and you can listen to other people that just went through this and see what they said immediately. I'm not talking about like whatever, like they just went through event and like you can see and hear palatably what they experienced. And just so you guys know, when you're watching those testimonials, they went through 1 day. 1 day. We've now expanded this to 3. Okay. So they did 1 day and those were the kind of results. Like I can't even imagine what we're going to do here in 3 days. So here's what the intentions and outcomes of the Have It All experience are. So our intentions and outcomes are: you will use fear as your guide rather than your opponent. 2, you will upgrade your limiting beliefs about yourself. I actually can't see this.
About yourself and your abilities.
Oh, yeah. So why don't you read them? Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got the pictures on the way.
I got the pictures on the side. Blocking me.
Number 3, you will reveal your true self, your big you, right? Like this is like the one that you always see out there in the future. Like we're going to make that present right now. You will be clear on your life's mission. You will be able to access flow state. You will stop fixing yourself and start designing your life.
Awesome. So those are the intentions and outcomes. Like when you come, that's what we're promising to you. Okay. So what do you have to do? We put a page together called youwillhaveitall.com. Youwillhaveitall.com. All you have to do is go over there and you can apply to be part of our Have It All live experience. Now, the reason we're taking applications is because we want to make sure we're capping this at 50 people. So we want to make sure that we have the best 50 people who are really up to something in their lives. Like, I don't want people that are going to sit back and be bystanders. No more sitting in the bleachers watching everyone else play. Like, you want results, you got to get on the goddamn court. Right? So that's very, very important to us. That's where we're going to do it. This is Hilton Mission Bay, one of the most gorgeous resorts, literally right on the beach. We're going to have experiences that we're going to do outside, inside. It's going to be absolutely magical. And we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to grab a few awesome bonuses. So for the first 10 people that register for the event, okay, we're having a 4-hour VIP session prior to the event starting. Just us, small group of you, working on your life, setting all this stuff up. So that's going to be included, all right, for the first 10 of you. We also have, in our Have It All Academy, we have a bi-weekly coaching group where we go through these type of distinctions. Some of the people I saw here on Facebook Live are actually part of that community. We're going to give you 2 months of that for free. So that's $600 right there. So all you have to do is go to youwillhaveitall.com, fill out your application, and tell me why you deserve to be there.
You also forgot to mention we're going to throw in the Mindfluence course.
I have additional bonuses on the other page.
Okay.
And tell me, importantly, why it is you want to attend this event, why it's important for you to be there. Okay. So that's for the first 10. Additional bonuses for this includes everybody. First, you'll get our Mindfluence. Oh, and by the way, for the first 10 that register, as soon as you register, we'll plug you into our Have It All Academy. So like, you don't have to wait for the event in June. You'll start getting coaching from us immediately. All right. Additional bonuses for everybody else. We have a live follow-up session after the event. So it's a similar call like this, but it's going to be with people coming out, sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, where they're stuck. And then we will coach you to continuously develop those skills and those muscles, right? Like, mastery happens in incremental steps, not in leaps. So we're going to make sure that you're continuing that path and getting into the gym and using that muscle. And 2, like Guy said, you'll have access to Mindfluence immediately, which you can start going through right now.
Tell them what that is, because they probably don't know what that is.
Tell them what it is.
So Mindfluence is our at-home course. It's a 10-module course. Covers the gamut of a wide range of distinctions, how to start freeing yourself up in a lot of ways. And again, this will become available to you the moment you register. Freeing yourself up in a lot of ways, and how to specifically use the power of language to start creating the type of life that you want. And that's super, super powerful.
Yeah, it's by the way, that course, which we should sell for a lot more money, that's saved marriages. That's saved relationships with kids. It's that powerful.
I believe it's a prerequisite for any type of coaching you'll do. Like, if you want to set a proper foundation through the understanding of how it is that you're collapsing distinctions in your life and how much power that's really taking away from you moment by moment, then that's a must. Like, I think that anybody who comes to this program has to go through that entire program first.
Yeah. So again, guys, youwillhaveitall.com. Apply now. I will get on the phone with every single one of you. We'll spend 10, 15 minutes looking at it. I'll ask some follow-up questions and give you, let you know if it's a go or not. So that's it, my friends. That's a little bit about the You Will Have It All event. Again, head over to youwillhaveitall.com. If this resonated with you, do not hesitate. Put in an application. Seats are filling up fast, even though it's out in November. Like I said, we have payment plans that can carry out to six payments. So money should not be a concern for you at all when coming to this event. Lastly, if you have any questions whatsoever, Ilan, ILAN, at SatoriPrime.com. I promise to answer you personally. And we're just looking for the right people to be in that room, the right people to look at their life from a perspective of how can I make some shifts and changes so I can, in fact, live a life of having it all. How can I have a 10 in my relationships, a 10 in my health, a 10 in my finances, no more just, nitpicking here and there. So if that intrigues you, you want to be part of this revolution of transforming humanity, then make sure you fill in your application. We look forward to sharing this event with you. By the way, stay tuned to your emails. If you're not subscribed, by the way, to SatoriPrime, go ahead and do that. We're going to inform you. We're actually going to start hosting a bunch of these webinars probably every week or at most every couple of weeks. So if this resonated with you, you can actually come out live and ask questions and get coaching from us and all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe. Just head over to SatoriPrime.com and subscribe to our newsletter and you'll get notified. All right. Love you all. Have an amazing rest of your week.
Did you run through doors till you hit the floor? Did you read my eyes and my aching thoughts? Did you walk through walls till you had to grow? Oh my God, your smile and my soundless calls.